Hi everyone, greetings to Higher Perspectives, and it's time for another energy update. Yahoo! So last month, if you have watched the energy update, it was a lot about karma. We had a huge karmic board channeling, and this month in July, it continues a little bit with karma. It will still be a topic. A little bit of teaser I can give you. We have a lot of cosmic energy this time coming in. Also, technology, Atlantis is mentioned. Crafts, maybe sightings are possible, and a very, very special topic this month. Well, sometimes it's unique to every month to have a specific topic, and July is no different. So I will move right away and let you see the channeling. We started again, like we do with every energy update. We always start with the same question. What are the incoming energies, or what energies are coming down to Earth, and how can we best navigate this? And what they said is here. It's interesting that you word this, which energies are coming down, because for most of the time, the energies you're dealing with in your energy updates, or when we talk about this kind of forecasting, we talk about what is present on Earth, what is arising out of the collective, what is arising out of what you're doing here. But every now and then you actually deal with incoming energies. And in July, you're dealing with incoming energies. These are more cosmic energies of the Sirian nature. So great Sirian presence is today. Therefore, colors of the month will be a dark muddy yellow, blackish gray, and light gray white. Difficult to describe, is a painting like nebula, is a little creation that carries the Sirian frequency. Cosmic presence may actually be seen as crafts in one of your skies, because you actually have many. But this is another matter. How do skies manifest differently in different parts of the world? What you need to know for July is that technology is coming up again on a political level, on a world stage level. Technology will be a topic. It will be felt on an individual basis in some places of where you live. And the question will be again of how you as a person deal with technology in your life. Please reflect on this in the month of July. How far is technology actually determining your day, influencing your day, a strong present, without you being in the driver's seat here? Where does technology determine your day, your life, your thinking, your feeling, your habits? Reflect on this, brothers and sisters. Reflect on this. Where does your free will come in? Where does your standing come in? Where does your humanness come in? What was different a few years ago before technology was ever present? Can you remember this? Or are you too young? Have you been born into this age and only ever witnessed the progress of technology? Would you say that being around a smartphone, a computer, technology influenced world every day is something you profit of, or is it actually hindering you many times, limiting you many times? Something we want you to actually discuss with yourself and other humans? Where is it helpful and where is it limiting, destroying, hindering human connection? Two topics will arise in July. One that will come to you from the external, and one that will come to you from within. There's still the influence of the month of June for many of you dealing with karmic matter. The great karmic questions, the great second chances, the great return of a topic that has been yours for millennia. Great time in this year to deal with this and give it a new twist, give it a new perspective, maybe add a different layer. Please remember that when we speak about having a second chance at a karmic question in your life, it's not all or nothing. When we see you speak about karma, it's often a lot of we want to get rid of this, we want to stop the cycle, and we want to relinquish the karma. That's not what we mean. It's a big task to work on karma. So be humble about it, as you should be in life with anything, especially karma that is always only partly yours and always ever also your ancestral line. You can only add another layer if this layer happens to finish this story. This is just happening coincidentally. It's happening because you're the last in the line to give it a finishing touch. It is not so much that you sacrifice your incarnation, come here, have all this suffering, and then write off the karma of your ancestors, right? It's not happening this way. Please keep that in mind. So also, if you feel this is something you cannot do in this life, don't be frustrated and don't despair. That's the best you can do is always good enough for us. It's always good enough for the universe also. This is an interesting question in general, karma. If you are ever open about, discussing it, we'd like to give our 2 cents. Right. So the 2 topics here in July, let's go back to that. There will be, for many of you, a predicament of some kind, but don't feel overwhelmed, overburdened by this. We don't wish to scare you in any way. You find yourself in predicaments all the time, right? And some are major and some are smaller and some are hardly noticeable for you because you're well equipped to solve this riddle here. But some will ponder this. Some will feel torn in the middle of something and you have the feeling of I cannot do anything to satisfy all parties, including myself. This is something there has to give something, right? So there has to be a sacrifice of some kind. And please, we want to add a layer here of your thinking, maybe, of your perception. When you find yourself in that situation, where you contemplate on something and you find no answer straightforward to this problem, think of it as adding another touch. Yes? Like what we said about karma, giving it an additional layer and let it be a layer of light, positivity in the meaning of heart, warmth and love, hope, forgiveness, helping hand, whatever is needed here, listening ear. Give it your touch. Don't despair, because that is what you add then. Always think back on the door that is present for you. Find the door and go through the door. Open this right door. That's all you do in life. You go through the doors. Don't think of life as a inexplicable, incomprehensible hard task. It's a riddle, right? Something you can enjoy doing. It tickles your curiosity. Yes, sometimes riddles are super hard and you can despair for a minute. But then you go on and find the courage to solve this because you know you have it in you. You can do this. Right, so the month of July will be consisting of these things. A very personal, very emotional maybe, or very intellectual topic for the individual. The predicament we talked about, the dilemma. A task for you to handle, a test if you want. The world stage with the technology question, which also, diffuses into the everyday life of individuals, of course, because what is Earth and what is political, right? It is all of you. Mm-hmm. And don't forget the cosmic influence. Many of you have Sirian ties. Many. Right. What's your question now? It's funny that you're so focusing on this particular story. It's good that you call it a story. Yes, Atlantis is a great story. This is the myth that is still present. And with every great story, part of it is true, part of it is not true, part of it is simply woven around it. But there is a inner truth when you have a story sticking around, even if it is a lie, even if it is a myth, if it is sticking around for some reason, the reason you need to ask yourself about this is why. Why are we so connected to this? Am I personally connected to this? Am I attached to the story because it's interesting? Or is this a collective truth we need to find here? Think about this in connection to technology. Yes. Where do you see parallels? What are you afraid of? What are you maybe longing for? What of this great time of Atlantis do you wish would be still here? All good questions to ask. Now let's go to karma. Very simple words. Karma is an energy tie. What we said about, creating a story that is still unfinished. It can be something very positive also. It can be something extremely loving. You create good karma sometimes by being present. And what we said, you add your touch, you add your layer, it will stick to this particular story. And all the beings that are connected to it, that will touch it, are not touched by it. This continues. This timeline, this storyline, this energy imprint will continue to give learning towards anybody who is included here. Karma is a great teacher. In its final class, you conclude it and you leave it behind. It is something very much connected to Earth because the stories you start here need to be finished here. A story that has been started on Earth cannot be finished on any other plane. It's very simple. It's very, very simple. The principles that are connected to karma are also very simple. It is the great delusion that is adding all the complications to it. Because you simply cannot see the truth. Having negative karma means you have added a layer, not taken something from it because you can't, but added a layer, and it may be thicker or thinner, that changes the weight of the story, changes the energy. And it may be very uplifting or very destructive or hindering or sticky, however you want to put it, for all other beings involved. So if someone does something very good for that particular story, all other souls who are connected to this story and all who will be connected to this story will profit from this. You have shown the learning. You have demonstrated how it's done. You've been a great teacher. If you add something negative to it, if you do something that is wrong, against the rules, the principles, let's say, of the universe, you prolong the learning for yourself and all the others. Unless someone steps in and corrects your learning, demonstrates how it is done. But then you will have to be around and perceive the learning, otherwise you will start where you left off. It's a continuum. It will reach an end, but this may take longer or shorter depending on the individuals that are connected to this particular karma. Do you have a clearer understanding of this now?
Yes, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Do we continue?
In fact, we have finished our questions for today. Do you have a closing remark?
We want you to be positive about July. It is not an easy time for you all on Earth because you are confronted in very quick succession with very intensive topics. You feel that your range of action is actually quite limited. And part of this is true, and partly it is not. It is an illusion, but partly it is true because you have a very, and this may be due to technology actually, a very narrow, let's say, vision of what is possible. The good thing is the solution to this problem is actually very simple. So it should be easy for you to find the door. If not, please ask for help. We are always around and we are always listening. We will always step in if you need us. But be all eyes and ears and intuition. Do not narrow yourself in the question you ask. Be open for guidance here. And please know the solution is always very simple. It sometimes asks something from you, yes, that you may not want to give up easily. It may be your pride, or it may be some money, or it may be time, maybe something different altogether. It may be just your perspective. But what you gain, let us say, is much larger and much more valuable. So, the greatest challenge is actually the greatest present, because it is the greatest opportunity to excel in this great class that is Earth. We wish you happy teaching and happy learning in July. So, it was a very long energy update this time. They were having a bit of an excuse, I think, when I started talking about karma. But to be honest, I always wanted to ask this, and I was very glad that they were so forthcoming with all this information. We didn't have to tackle them very much. They just, You have seen it, so they went on about it, and I was very grateful actually, because these are interesting questions, right? And they concern everyone. So for me, good news, or for all of you who are attached by the more cosmic angle of spirituality, Syrian brothers and sisters, I know a few friends and family members of mine who are really have strong Syrian ties, and you might just be one of them, or a close family member or friend of you. So for them, it's a really interesting month because they will feel this family connection, cosmic family connection, very strongly, I assume. And this might translate into more challenging aspects, maybe because they feel a bit more alienated from the worldly matters and more, I don't know, maybe pensive or pensive, thoughtful regarding personal stuff, and they will just, have more inner processes. If you feel that way, if you're close to Syrian star family, you can just imagine the color combination they mentioned, these more darker, dirtyish yellow. They have a cloud of black gray on the outer rims, and on the very outskirts of this, if you want to imagine it as a painting, is a white rim. So it looks really interesting. It's very distinctive. Whenever I channel Syrian energy or Syrian consciousness, this is the color combination I get. So I can easily recognize this. For you, this might be different actually, but I don't think you can go wrong with this. And if you want, you can just meditate on those colors or wear them or, paint if you like, just to connect with your Syrian brothers and sisters. And of course, watch the skies for craft. So I'm super excited about this actually. And then there was the predicament. Don't be alarmed in any way, because when we hear predicament, it's a huge word, right? But they mentioned it can be small. So it might not be felt for everyone the same, like something you lose sleep over. Might not be that way for you. But if it is, I think it's a good reminder that they said solution is really simple. It is not a complicated thing, and you probably cannot satisfy everyone. So, when we are in a dilemma, it might be with ourselves. What am I doing? What is the right decision here? Or with other people. So everyone has different expectations of you, and you cannot satisfy all parties equally. Then it's a good reminder that solution is simple, and it usually involves compromise, right? So something has to give, they mentioned. And yeah, that is sometimes a real dilemma. If the parties are not able to talk well with each other, it can be a dilemma, right? So I'm actually curious what might come up. They mentioned the picture of the door again, so we need to go through the doors in life in order to arrive at the very last door. And solution is usually simple, especially if we feel we have a real problem. I think this is so contradicting for humans that the easiest solution to a complicated problem is the best one. However, if you think about it in hindsight, if you look back on your life and remember problems you had, it's true actually. The easiest solution is usually the best one. And there is always one. That's also a good reminder, so we do not have to despair. Never forget to ask for help. I know this seems far off. Why would we ask for help, invisible beings? But just do it. Just speak it out aloud. I'm asking now for help. I'm lost. Don't be too specific. I think is a really good hint when they said, don't limit yourself in the questions and don't limit yourself in what you ask from us. Because help may arrive in different ways that you imagine and in different ways that you expect. Also with confirmation, if you ask your higher self, please give me confirmation that I'm heard. Give me a sign, spirit. Be really open here. it might not be the feather in the street you are asking for. You might get different confirmation. Also, really watch your dreams and watch your insights. The Atlantis topic, I actually contemplated cutting this one out because they touch on so many different topics which were interesting in itself, and I really don't think if I should touch upon this because, it's such a well-loved story on the internet, in the community, spiritual community. Everyone talks about Atlantis at one time. For me personally, I never was attached to the story so much. I don't know. I heard so many versions. I'm confused, honestly. And I try to stay away from these great stories. For some reason, I think I'm more focused on my life here and right now, and I do not need to know all the background info. But if you're interested in this, well, add this as a version, maybe, to have different perspectives and really ask yourself, am I attached to this because it's so fascinating? What is my connection here? All right, so these were the topics in July. I hope it was helpful for you. Keep an eye out for the dilemma part or for the predicament part. If you encounter it, I would love for you to send me a little comment underneath. So maybe we can help each other out. Be as vague as you wish, so you don't have to share your personal life on YouTube, of course. But I would be interested to know more about everyone's life at this particular message. Yeah. All right. I hope to see you in good shape next Friday. Bye.